It's that time of the year again. People look back on the past 12 months to see what they've accomplished and how far they have come. And they look ahead to the next 12 months and try to figure out what else they'd like to accomplish. That's what New Year's resolutions are all about, right? And even though personally I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, as far too many people seem to break those resolutions before the end of January, and as I don't feel like I need that big aha moment at the beginning of the year to initiate change, I still believe that setting goals is important. And why not do it at the beginning of the year? Personally, having goals pushes me to improve certain areas of my life, and they help me to measure whether I'm on track to accomplish what I want to achieve in any given year. So they help me focus and give me orientation. And this is exactly what I want to do in this video. I want to reflect a little on the past year and lay out a couple of my goals for 2022. And I'll focus on 5 distinct areas. I'll talk about YouTube, my books, Twitter, my investment strategy, personal finance, and also a little bit about my personal life. And I'll wrap up the video with a little riddle. So please stay tuned, and without further ado, let's get started. All right, hello fellow intelligent investors. My name is René Selman, and the first area that I want to focus on is YouTube. I've published my very first video around 50 months ago, and my goal for 2021 was to publish at least 40 videos, and I've accomplished that. I've checked my YouTube video analytics, and apparently I have released 62 videos in total, and I have gained around 3,200 subscribers in 2021. And quite frankly, I was actually surprised by the number of videos I put out. I did not expect that number to be so high. So what are my YouTube goals for 2022? Well, generally I think one should focus on things in life that are within one's control. I've actually recently published a somewhat long Twitter thread on this exact subject. So if you want to, go check it out. What's not in my control as a small YouTube creator is how many subscribers I will gain in any given year. So this is something I don't want to spend any energy on. What I can control, however, is how many videos I put out. And just like in 2021, I would like to publish at least 40 videos. Generally speaking, I would say I try to publish 1 video a week, but I want to give myself some leeway here, as I don't want to feel stressed that I need to release a video every single week. Sometimes I'll be on holiday, or will have friends over, or maybe I'm very busy in my day job, and I simply don't want to be stressed about releasing a video and then release a video that maybe does not satisfy my own standards. And this brings me to my second YouTube goal. What I can also control is the quality of my videos. I'd actually much rather release fewer videos, but high quality ones, than release 3 videos a week of lower quality. You might know that for a YouTube video to do well, 2 metrics are particularly important. First, a video's click-through rate, which basically measures how many of your impressions on YouTube turn into actual views. And then secondly, the retention rate of a video, which measures what percentage of a YouTube video people actually watch. And to improve these 2 metrics, I want to boost the quality of of both my videos, but also of the thumbnails of my videos. I'm not sure if you've noticed it, but I recently started using some background music and the intros to my video, and I also started adding some stock footage videos in addition to the illustrations I prepare for some of my videos. And if I compare the click-through rate as well as the retention rate of my very first videos, the videos I published 15 months ago, to the videos I published more recently, then I can see that these 2 metrics have certainly improved over time. And I hope that as I gain more experience in 2022, I can improve these 2 metrics even further. Okay, that's it for YouTube. Next up, let's talk about my books. I've been working on these books for around 3 years now, and you can sometimes see them in the background of my videos. Have a look right there, for example. And just to be clear, I mainly wrote these books for myself, and as of now, I don't have any intention of releasing them in a book format. I have actually finished writing these books quite a long time ago, before I started this YouTube channel. But I kept adding content that I found valuable over time, and I rarely found the time to actually proofread the books, which I hadn't done so far. And so overall, dealing with all of the details that come with finishing a book were just not a top priority for me in 2021. Now the proofreading process and then editing the Word document and so on and so forth, that took me forever. Because in total I had to proofread 2,000 pages. But I have finally finished that proofreading process over the Christmas break. But what I still need to do now is there are a ton of illustrations and charts in the books, and I found quite a few mistakes in those as well. So I'll probably need to update around, I don't know, maybe 50 to 60 visualizations. Then there are a few layout things I have to deal with as well. But finishing all of this is another goal for 2022. Moving on to the next goal setting area, and I can keep this one fairly short. Another goal I have for 2022 is to be more active on Twitter. In 2021, I think I published maybe 5 longer threads and generally tweeted rather sporadically. So one of my goals for this year is to generally post more, publish a couple of longer threads, and to create more illustrations that summarize key investing concepts. You might know Brian Ferroli. His nice illustrations are certainly an inspiration for me here. But just to be clear, Twitter is not going to be a top priority for me, but nonetheless, I want to be a little more active than in 2021. All right, the fourth area that I wanted to talk about in this video is probably the one area that you are all here for: investing and personal finance. Well, in the previously mentioned Twitter thread, I've actually discussed what investors can control and what they cannot control. And what I as an investor cannot control, at least over shorter time periods, is my rate of return in any given year. That's why I feel like being somewhat obsessively focused on your annual returns will only drain your energy and overall lead to a less happy life. I've actually had a pretty rough year in 2021 in terms of my portfolio's performance. After a truly amazing 2020, my 2021 performance was actually negative. This was my first year underperforming the market. Was it because I made bad decisions? Maybe, but quite frankly, I don't think so. And honestly, my portfolio performance didn't really bother me at any point last year, as I tried to adapt the mindset of a business owner and not the one of an investor or even worse, a trader. The companies I do own have actually all done quite well in 2021. Maybe their valuations going into 2021 were a bit elevated, but I think almost all of the companies that I do own have improved their business fundamentals last year. And as I plan to hold these companies for many years, ideally decades, the stock prices will eventually reflect that growth in business value. And I would like to quote what Hayden Capital recently wrote in, I would call it a performance update email that they have sent to their investors after they had reported a 2021 performance of negative 15.8%. Here's what they wrote. Unfortunately, in today's environment, the companies in our portfolio can fall out of favor with other investors, and thus their short-term price is impacted. Additionally, while we routinely suffer 30% plus drawdowns, seemingly every year, this time may seem especially painful because the indices are still near their highs. While I can't predict the bottom of this drawdown, I do suspect we'll start to see some stabilization in the market soon. There's going to be volatility over the next few months, but I'm highly confident that we'll be very envious of the prices we are seeing today, looking back in 5 years' time. All right, so if the annual rate of return is something investors can hardly control, what should they focus on instead? Well, I've come up with a short list in my Twitter thread. I'll try to improve my investment process, for example. I'll try to stick to that process. I'll try to control my emotions and always make rational decisions. And I'll actually try to be fairly inactive. I'm a big fan of Terry Smith's investment philosophy, which you're probably aware of, and which is probably as simple as it gets. His philosophy consists of 3 pillars: buy good companies, don't overpay, do nothing. And the do nothing part might be by far the hardest part of this investment framework. And while I was fairly inactive in 2021, I think there's still room for improvement for me here. Okay, finally, and maybe most importantly, another thing I can control is my savings rate. I'll try to keep my savings rate high, of course. Actually, I try to keep track of my spending, and in 2021 I saved I think, respectable 45.2% of my income. In 2022, I hope I can achieve a similar savings rate, ideally above 40%, but to be honest, I'm not overly fixated on the final percentage value here, as I don't want to deny myself things that would bring joy to my life just because of some savings rate goal. But I want to continue to spend my money consciously, of course. And in a way, I think this brings me to the last area that I wanted to talk about in this video, which is my personal life. I generally consider myself an incredibly happy person, quite frankly. I do enjoy almost every day. I'm energized when I get up. I enjoy my work. I enjoy working on this YouTube channel and so on and so forth. And for 2022, I hope that I can continue to find the right balance between my main job, YouTube, and of course also enjoying time off with friends and family. So even though this YouTube channel is focused on financial topics, money doesn't actually play a very important role in my life. And with that said, I want to wrap it up here with a riddle, as I said. Here's how it goes. Rich people need it, poor people have it. If you eat it, you die. And when you die, you take it with you. What is it? Take your time to think about it. Maybe leave your idea in the comment section down below. And if you want to know the solution to that riddle, check out the blog post titled The Nothingness of Money by Lawrence Yeo. I'll of course add a link to the article to the description box down below. And as always, may your finances and investments prosper. Good luck.